So what do you say?
I don't even like you very much. I like your bird. Get in.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week I checked out Wheels of Fire, and this 1985 movie was directed by Sunero Santiago and stars Gary Watkins, Laura Banks, and Linda Weismarier, among others, of course. The story of this movie takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where everything's being destroyed and oil and gas are the most important commodities now, just kind of like in Mad Max. And so it follows our main character, and his sister is kidnapped by this warlord. And so he teams up with this psychic and this beastmaster and this other person as well to try to rescue the sister. They also have other motivations to, get at this warlord. Along the way, they go to different communities and you see different stuff. But will they rescue the sister and defeat the warlord? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss this movie. So what works with it? Well, right off the bat, I gotta tell you, it's a Mad Max ripoff to the max. Everything is very similar, down to the costumes and the cars. It looks like it's just, a Mad Max movie. I would say, though, it's just as entertaining, though, for probably different reasons than Mad Max was. With this one, there is so much stuff that happens. Every 10 minutes, it seems like something else is happening and something crazy is happening elsewhere. And so they just put in everything with this one. There's lots of things that just kind of happen out of the blue. For example, at one point they go underground and have to fight Morlocks from the time machine, and you're just like, why is this in there? They find some cavemen or cannibal cavemen and have to deal with that. They find this community that wants to go to outer space, so they're building a rocket. And there's just so much stuff happens that it's non-stop just kind of action and stuff that's going on. And so with that regard, it's just as fun as Mad Max the Road Warrior. So if that's what you're looking for, you can just turn this one on and enjoy it. In addition, I thought the characters were quite a bit of fun. The main character, or at least the actor there, has a very kind of John Travolta head shape going on. So it's kind of like if John Travolta starred in Mad Max. I know, can you believe it? And so that is interesting, but all of the characters are interesting, I would say. The Beastmaster is cool, the Psychic, and again, why is there a Psychic in this world? Who knows? They have a person with dwarfism, and they're a fun character. And there's other characters that are lots of fun, too. I would say most secondary characters are interesting and fun. Even with the Warlord and the Warlord's, men are interesting. So there's just so many people, just like how there's so many different little things that are going on that allow you just to kind of turn your brain off, enjoy it for what it is, and just go along with it. Also, because there's so much going on, there is a lot of concepts to kind of try to understand in this one, and I think that's where a little bit of fun comes from, trying to think about their world and how it all fits together. Certainly things like Morlocks and cavemen, maybe they were nuked and then mutated. Who knows? But there's lots of stuff that actually does work. For example, they have this, I guess it's a world government going on, trying to stamp out these warlords, and they actually have a real army. So in the end, it actually becomes army versus army compared to band of bandits versus band of bandits. And so I think that works, certainly. They also go to this one community and they want to go to outer space. So of course they're building a rocket, and I think that's fun. And so yeah, there's just a lot of fun concepts that are included in this one for you to think about and enjoy. And lastly, when it comes down to it, it's just 80s schlock, and it is the best of 80s schlock. It's Italian post-apocalyptic stuff. And they have so many explosions in this one. A car gets hit with one bullet and it will explode. And so they have lots of explosions, lots of cars falling off cliffs and then exploding. They even set a lot of people on fire, which was impressive. Probably a dozen people are lit on fire in this movie. And so it's just, 80s schlock for you to enjoy that way. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this movie. Well, certainly there is one storyline that brought down the whole thing for me, and that is with the sister. The sister is captured by the warlord, and instead of just, keeping her as a prisoner to be rescued, they start doing sex crimes to her. Just like anytime they go back to the sister, they're just doing sex crimes. You don't see any of it, but it's all implied, and the way that they talk to her and kind of treat her is absolutely disgusting. I guess it establishes, the bad guys as being like truly evil, and so that is just not fun, I would say. There's also some nudity, but it's all with the sister storyline, and so you can't even really be happy about any nudity with this one. And you're just kind of thinking like, man, like that's not cool. Like that's really kind of brings down my heart. And so that was the one thing that really kind of brought it down. It really does kind of have this shock to it because the other storylines are so kind of more lighthearted, especially when you go, meet some warlocks, meet some cavemen, and you're like, okay, like this is kind of more lighthearted, just doing stuff. But with the sister, it's all about the sex crime, so it should, have a warning with that. It's just, not the funnest storyline, I'll say that. Also, with this movie, there is very little character development. Like, there is almost no moments where they actually, like, talk to the characters. Like, I don't even know why the Beastmaster wants to defeat the Warlord. She just says she has her own reasons, and that's it. Let's not talk about it, I guess. And so if you ever wanted, any character development, it's not in this one. The characters are all one-dimensional. What you see is what you get, and then what you get is them doing stuff. So it is kind of this trade-off balancing act between, action and character development. So that is in there as well. As for my recommendation, well, I think there's a big audience out there for this one. 80s fans will enjoy it. Post-apocalyptic fans will enjoy it. If you like Mad Max and you don't care about it being like a copy, then you'll enjoy this one as well. It has everything that you've come to know and love from the genre in it, that's for sure. And so if that sounds like you, then yeah, certainly press play on this one. I think you can find it on Tubi. As for a rating, well, when it comes down to it, it's a good bad movie, so I will give it the 4.5. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.